to sleep. Yesterday, someone close to me passed away. And I'm really sad. So, I'm not having a very good night. I was trying to play, and it's making me more sad. This was not how my life was supposed to turn out. Crying on the internet at 3:38 a.m. all alone. I don't even want to look at myself. He was a pretty cool dude. We built that music studio together. And we were just joking the other day. Then I think about that whore sending me that letter after I sent her husband a box of Kleenex. And she sent that and tucked all that shit on me. Why isn't she dead? It's like nothing but bad things happen all the time. Over and over again. Nothing but bad things. I feel like there's just a lot more disappointment on the way. I don't see anything good happening. I just see everything as bad and bad and nothing good. And I hate feeling like this. these fucking anxiety attacks at fucking 3:30 in the morning. And what started those was that message from that letter from that goddamn bitch. Who went out of her way to do this. And I never did anything to that bitch. She's just a fucking unhappy whore who's unhappy that her husband cheated on her. She's unhappy that her kids don't love her. But she's gonna come at me for someone who made cookies for her and her whole family. And she's gonna fucking judge me and talk all this shit. And go out of her way to send me a letter. And that now, a friend dies. It's almost 4 in the morning. I was trying to watch Here's Lucy, and my stupid phone saying I don't have enough memory on it. I've been deleting everything on it. I don't know what it is. And I was just in my bed and I started to freak out. So I had to get up and talk on the internet so it didn't feel like I was totally alone. There's nothing worse than feeling like you don't exist and that no one cares. When things were different from that. I don't care if the world sees me crying because I've cried in front of people a bunch of times. So if people have a problem with it, they can go fuck themselves. Yeah, I cry a lot. Deal with it. I cry in front of people too. Just deal with that. Sorry, but I'm a human. And I show it. Yeah, I'm oversensitive too. But I'm all around a pretty decent person. I'm not an asshole. And I'm not mean. I don't do mean things to people. I don't give people bad news on purpose. I don't make it something important I have to do to hurt someone. I know that when when I was born, I almost died. I wasn't even expected to live, and the doctor was a drunk. So, ever since the very beginning for me, coming into this world has been a bunch of bad shit. When you're coming into the world and you almost die. And now I always think, if I would have, that would have saved me from so much bullshit. I wouldn't be here crying on the internet at 3:48 a.m. I would have never gotten this letter from this cunt. I wouldn't have got raped the first time and then drugged and raped the second time. Yeah. When you get your virginity taken by getting raped, it's not very cool. And yeah. And then meeting some asshole that mentally fucked with me for over 15 years, and then getting cheated on and replaced. And being told that it was my mood swings. You're a fucking old bastard. And he didn't like when I started growing a beard and I had a stomach. He'd always say he needed to get a new one. I never thought that was funny, and then that's what happened. I just wish it would have happened way sooner. 5 years would have been too much. Not 16. But then there was a brief moment when things looked up and things were good, and I was happy. I liked being alive. And I saw things differently. The first time ever, I felt this happy feeling that I didn't even know existed, that it could exist. And everything changed. And then my junkie thief asshole brother enters the picture and started with his lies and called me a child molester and said all this bullshit. And then everything was ruined because of him. And he did it on purpose too. What did I ever do to him? Nothing. I wrote letters to judges and all that so he would get his kids back. I, it makes me so sick that the happy feeling I had and was happy was deliberately fucked over because of him. And because if he wouldn't have started his lies and all of that, which he did on purpose, things would not be the way they are now. I wouldn't have gotten a letter from this whore because things would not have went the way they did because he said the lies that he said. So it hasn't been very easy for me. I would like to be underneath that car that drove by. I never used to think about I don't know if something will happen if I talk about hurting myself. But I used to have post-suicidal thoughts. That's what my doctor said. Those are post-suicidal thoughts. Well, they've evolved since then. They've evolved. And it doesn't feel nice. It really doesn't feel nice. Is that what there's going to be to look forward to in this life? More disappointment? Because the world is not full of good people. The world's full of a bunch of assholes that'll do anything to make things hard for you. And you got jealous assholes. They don't want to see anything good for you. They don't want to see you happy at all. And good people, people that do nice, good things all the time, they don't get rewarded or treated nicely. They get shit on. Because I'm as good of a person as I can be, and then some. And I've gotten not even thank yous for it. I've gotten people being mean to me. People on purpose hurting me when I do nice things. So that's the truth of it. You know, you should be a good person because that's the way it should be, but let me warn you, being a good person puts a big target on your back to be stabbed in the back
or even right in the front. Because everyone is ugly. You're nice, you're not gonna do anything. He's too nice, or I still can't get over the fact that this whore sent me this letter on purpose, judging me, and I would like to, what was it in that movie? It had this American Crime Story or something like, oh, American History X. That scene where he put the fuckers, made him bite the curb. That's what I'd like to do to that bitch in Oregon. She deserves that because she's a fucking miserable whore who goes out of her way to be cruel to people. She's a fucking ugly man-looking bitch. And I hope she's stalking me or trying to find out about my shit and hears this. Because I'm gonna make... I've already got hashtags brought up for Oregon cunt. And I'm just getting started with that. She's gonna say that to me, well, in her little small town of St. Helens, Oregon, her whole town will know that she's a fucking felon bitch who used to sell meth. She's gonna act like she's all uppity and lives in some $1 million home. Bitch, you lived in a trailer park and you sold meth and are a felon. And your husband cheated on you. And now she's gonna be talking shit. No, her reputation will be destroyed. And since she's such a good Jehovah's Witness, I'll find out who the Jehovah's Witness head of is in that city, and I will tell them she goes and takes her one kid and does all this shit for Halloween in another part of town so no one sees her. Don't fuck with me, bitch. I just thought about that right now, because those Jehovah's Witnesses, they push the members of the church to rat on someone. If they see someone doing something they're not supposed to, you go tell the other people. That is encouraged. So, they'll be hearing about her behavior and how she breaks all these rules of the church. Because especially since she had the nerve to send me that Jehovah's Witness bullshit. Well, okay. Thanks. I will contact the church and see how she likes it when her church starts talking shit on her. That someone went out of their way just to talk shit on her. And you know what? I'll even say other shit. I'll say, she celebrates birthdays, she does this and she does that. And they would not be pleased with her transgender daughter. who she goes and takes to do Halloween things in some other town because, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses, they can't celebrate Halloween. But since this child of hers, since it's her full child, not her stepchild, she doesn't shit on this one. She's babies this one to her stepson, whose mother was murdered when he was a kid. She kicked him out of the family home during the pandemic so they could have a church room. So this fucking whore in St. Helens, Oregon, her name is Michelle, and her last name starts with a J. She's a fucking whore. I just thought about that now, that the church loves hearing about members that aren't following the rules. They're gonna hear. And I like this, that she had said she couldn't be around someone who smoked weed because she was in recovery. But the whore drinks. Fuck you. These goddamn hypocritical assholes. I wonder how many lives she ruined when she was selling people meth. It's like, and this bitch is gonna judge me? And her stepson, when he was a little boy, what did she do? She threw a Barbie dream house downstairs at him. Wow. And then instead of being a mother and taking care of the kids, she wanted to stay hidden in the room, her room, all day, and have her husband in there all day to who knows talk about. I don't know what they talked about. I just know that her stepson had said that they would be in the room all day when this cheating incident happened. So it's like, you know what, you fucking whore. And now she's gonna be saying shit. I'm so proud of him, bitch. It's like, does she know that he referred to her as a fucking cunt more than once? And he said that his dad never took his side, he always took her side. And now the bitch is proud of him. And he's hanging out with her, telling her about his life. I don't see, unless a split personality developed, that all of a sudden was a completely different person from before. And now shares his life and spends his free time hanging out with this bitch. And hearing from people how vindictive she is. I don't know if she knows that I know that and that other people have said that about her. But her letter purely shows that that's the kind of person she's like. But she thinks that it's just, I'm gonna talk to I see a psychiatrist. I was telling him about this letter, and he agreed with me, and he says, that she was saying stuff that wasn't true. And nobody understands why she sent this to me when we never had any kind of friendship. I never spoke with her. And then she's going to be talking to me about how I am, my relationships in my life. And this is after she read the letter that was to her husband, which I had been sending him letters because I was sending him checks for a car rental, which I made with him, not her. But in her letter, she tells me that my debt has been paid. If she was going to do anything, that was all she needed to say. Instead of her talking about my life, talking about her stepson's life and what he's doing, and the fucking cunt had the nerve to say that I seemed nice. And when someone who's educated, very educated, sees this letter and says that response right there was her arrogance. And when he asked me, he says, have you ever wrote to her? I was like, no. I never spoke with her. I spoke with her in a car ride from an airport once. That was it. And she was going on and on about how much the house was. She didn't ask me, well, how was your flight? How was this? She didn't ask. She was talking about herself. Because she didn't like that I made her husband a personalized Star Wars Kleenex box. I was on their doorstep crying for a while, and he gave me Kleenex, and I told him I would replace it. And I did, with 2 boxes. And I wrote, I keep my word, and I take that seriously. And got into my mental health because I was speaking to his father, who I had talked to many times about things. So I got personal with that, saying that his son was very good to me. I said he never judged me about my mental anything. He set alarms on my phone to remind me to take my medicine, and she knew that I had a problem with depression, and because I wrote it down, and she read everything, and it wasn't no secret, anything like that, but it was how personal I got and talked about things. She knew what would really hurt my feelings, and she did. What kind of a person does that? And I had been in the hospital last year. In this letter she sent me, did she ask, how has your health been? Because my appendix ruptured. That had to get fixed, and that really hurt. And then I had kidney stones, and that got delayed for 6 months because of coronavirus. And during those times, I had to get a couple root canals, and at one point my face was all swelled up. And I had once sent a letter with the check before, and I had been saying my searchers put off this or had this, that's, and she was aware of all of that. And when she wrote to me, she did not ask about how anything was for me, how my health was. When her stepson was here some years ago, and he was living with me, and I was paying for his food or anything that he needed. His parents, they knew where he was. Well, his parent and stepmother, because he had been estranged to them for 7 years, and I got him to speak to his dad again. So when they were speaking again, they still not once, remember, living in $1 million house, they never sent not 1 cent to, like, here, buy yourself food. Dude, they didn't send him shit. And in this letter this cunt wrote, because I addressed all that, she said, thank you for taking care of him when he was at your house. But then the whore's gonna say that I seem nice? And when, I think I've said this before, when he was here and then they came to pick him up, to take him to Oregon to first, she didn't get out of the car. She stayed in the car outside the fence and didn't come into the yard of the people who were giving her stepson shelter and food. And she's gonna say that I seem nice? It's like, you're a fucking cunt that couldn't even come out, and it's like, and you're a cunt that's gonna come and send me this fucked up letter, and she's gonna have the nerve to judge me and say I seem nice? Fuck you. Like, you know what? You're not nice. You're a fucking ugly ass whore whose husband cheated on you because you're probably bad in bed. And just an all around bitch. I know she doesn't cook for her husband. I know he doesn't cook. And I know that in one of the letters I wrote to his dad, I said, I liked making your son breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I said, I liked doing his laundry. And something tells me that the bitch did not like the stepson she hated having someone who cared about him, that loved doing his laundry, that was committed, and she had a husband who doesn't cook for her, has cheated on her, and now there's some guy sending her husband letters with some specially made Kleenex box. So she had to make sure that that she turned things for me upside down with her mouth. And the cunt saying, after all, he's truly happy, and that's what matters. It's like, you know what are you insinuating by that, you fucking cunt? Truly happy, and that's what matters. And what I wrote in my letter was, I said, I want him to be happy. And isn't that what matters? It's like, you know what? She used my words on purpose to say things the way she did. Like that's a real cunt. It's just, there's so much bullshit. And there's a baby. She's growling at money. Will you stop it? So, and I know that what that bitch said was lies. Because it does not go with her behavior. And that when she was sent homemade chocolate chip cookies, homemade fudge, even her parents who live with her were sent those. She didn't go out of her way to like send a letter to say, you know what, thank you for that. Thank you for sending my family and my parents something. She didn't. And remember, I seem nice. So she's gonna tell me that I seem nice after I sent her fucking family cookies? And then she does have time to go and put things on, put a stamp on and mail me telling me upsetting news and judging me. It's like, you really have got to be kidding me, you fucking goddamn whore. That's a shitty person. And what she wanted me to do, or what she was doing, was planting seeds in my mind. I was told that by someone who read the letter. Someone who studied human behaviors and shit like that. Who, after he read that, and I hadn't said anything about the bitch, he says, this was written by a scared, jealous, controlling, and insecure woman. And I'm going to go with what he said, because what he says is what I've heard from everyone else. Not that she is some loving stepmother. She's a fucking whore is what she is. And her church is going to know all about her, and I'm going to even make up other shit. Because I know that Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't allow people to do shit. They don't want them to do anything. And if another church member sees one person doing something they're not supposed to or shouldn't be doing, it is urge for them to go to an elder or whatever to rat them out. So I know there's things that she does do. And it's not going to be like, oh, well, it's just Halloween, so you get a break on that. It's like, oh, if you're doing that, what other holidays are you doing? I just, I've really had it with people coming after me or coming at me and doing things that affect my life, that hurt me when I've done nothing but be nice to them. And I'm not lying or making shit up. I am nice. Not like that horse that I seem to be nice. Fuck you. Just that itself makes me pissed. You seem to be nice. I would like to spit in her face. You know what? I'd like to barf in her face. Go all out. I'm trying to think of what meal I could eat and then puke it up all over her. She deserves it. She's a fucking whore. It's just that where I am right now in my life is because of my piece of shit brother who his lies put things on a path that they were not on before. Because when someone is 1,000 miles away, when you used to live together, that's gonna affect the situation. And and he's been doing shit like that since I was a kid. Stealing from the family, breaking into the house. That's why I didn't understand why are his lies being believed? But it was his mouth. His mouth never stopped, and he was stirring the pot. Getting the family from all different sides, telling people the same story or different stories to everyone else, and having people get all uneasy and pissed off. And then what did he do? He ran back to Montana. And he wasn't supposed to leave Montana. Because he's the kind of asshole who wore a bug and tells the cops on people. In the 90s, he was beat up and thrown in a dumpster for ratting out people. Unfortunately, he survived. But he used to have a tattoo on himself that said rat, and he was proud of it. And I know that in prison, that's one of the lowest forms there are. And then when his wife was in prison, her dad was in prison, her sister was in prison, her brother was in prison, another brother was, I think, got killed, but he wasn't in prison. And then he still will, the last time he was here, because that wife, she's been out of prison, I don't know exactly what he did, but he was around her, and I think he said he grudge fucked her. It's like, okay, so you're still hanging out with this dumb bitch. And one of the things he said when he got back from that was, "Do you want to do a line?" And I said no. But because of him, like what he said was, I was on the chopping block. That's what I made a song. It's called Chopping Block. It's a diss track. Well, you get the picture. And in that song, I mention my brother, and I say that he is not a drummer because he thought he was some musically talented drummer. He's an idiot. He doesn't know how to play drums. So I know just me saying that and having it be a song will if he ever sees it, that will get under his skin. And I want it to. Because then it'll also be that, there'll be a song that's now exists, and it's about him not being a drummer. See, that's one thing. When I talk, if I'm talking shit, I may be talking shit, but it's true shit. It's not made up and lies. I keep shit real. That's the way it is. That's the way I roll. I don't make up shit. I wonder how much... Okay, I was checking to see if there was still battery left on this fucking thing. This is my old phone. So... it looks all blurry. I just wish I had like a Thorazine drip or something like that. Something where I could knock myself out. Because I don't like the way things are going. Things have been going bad for more than a year. And I really don't know how much more of this I can take. Because these like panic attacks I'm having at night and this like emotional breakdowns really late like this, it scares me. When I'm not able to get a hold of myself and calm down. Because I've always been able to calm down, to bring myself like, okay, you're all right. to do that. And that's an awful feeling. It's awful when you're thinking the only thing that would be better would to feel nothing. Or hearing traffic go by. It's like, I've thought many times when it's these nights like this, it's like, I want to go run in front of a car, but I don't want to, since there's no traffic right now, I don't want to have to wait for a car. I just want to rather than get hit by a car. But at this time, it's like I have to be waiting for a car to come hit me. See, that's not good thoughts. Those are really not good to be thinking. And I know I've said it already about, I wish I lived in San Francisco because I would have jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge already. And I know that these are not good thoughts. And those are not post-suicidal thoughts. This is not ideation. This is where is it? Oh no, it's on here. Well, it has little papers that were on at the doctor's office talking about suicide. Like, talk to someone, speak to someone, let someone know. Yeah, so I'm not in a good place. Then having someone who I haven't really cared about die. And he was telling me just the other day, he said that he thinks I could be a really talented ukulele player. And he meant it too. He was a good guy. And when I went over there, he said, it was really good for me to be there. I'm not used to that. I'm used to people being mean to me. And not saying positive things. Then the person who says something positive about me dies. So I'm like not in the best place. And I don't like my life. I hate it. This world is not all it's cracked out to be. I am not going to turn into some evil person because that's not how I am. But I know I'm going to be bitter, unhappy, slowly become a hermit. That would be okay though. There wouldn't be anyone to fuck me over. I'm not gonna fuck over myself. I'm not gonna lie to myself. So maybe that's a good thing. But I'm still pretty sure people would find a way to find me just to fuck with me. See, it's not good when you think in your head, I wish I was dead. I just wish I was dead. I just wish this was all over. When you think like that all day long, day after day, it's really not good. This beard is even starting to turn that way. I don't know. It's like I like being alone. I liked being alone before. I didn't have a problem with it. I was totally fine being alone. Now, I don't like it. And being alone at night is, it's something that's adding to these like scared feelings and this panic shit that goes on. Before I could go out and get stoned by myself all night and I wouldn't have a problem with it. Or I could just be inside watching TV all alone and be fine with it. Now it's like just being alone is you're all alone. No one wants to be with you. You're all alone. If you want to make jokes, you can only laugh at jokes by yourself for so long. And it's really sad of if you do laugh, genuinely are laughing, and then you stop laughing and it dawns on you, you're fucking all alone. Then that big laugh and that like laughing, happy feeling goes away real quick. And you're not laughing anymore. You just think of, I'm all alone. No one thinks it's funny except you. That's why I do this shit all the time. And we'll be on here for fucking over an hour. thinking I'll be on that long because I know that when I push stop and put the phone down, it'll be just me. I'm glad it's blurry because you can't see how ugly I look. Everything in my head is just so negative, it's not funny. It's like the whole world is negative. On a good note, well, I can't find my yellow pick, and that one worked really good. So I ordered some tonight, thin picks, and so those will be coming on I think it's at the 30th or something like that. I don't know how far away that is. It's probably too far, but maybe I'll find my one I like by then. Because it's the ones I got they're called thin ones. Because I know that these ones that aren't thin don't play as well. That sounds really nice, doesn't it? That sounds peaceful. And calming. And it sounds kind of sad too. That's me. I was fucking born sad. Little me born sad and then almost dying. I know if I did, I wouldn't be sitting here upset. So I think, would that have been bad? I don't think so. It would have saved me on a lot of bullshit. So now when I think about it, it's like, well, you almost could have died, or you did survive. Yeah, I am a survivor. You know what? Being a survivor. You gotta go through a lot of shit. And shit that you didn't deserve. So, I'm no weak bitch, but I don't fucking want any of this. I never wanted any of this. I'm just gonna lay down. There's no bridge around here I could jump off of that's tall enough. If I did, I'd probably have some broken legs and end up a fucking vegetable. If I jump off a bridge, it's going to be the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's going to be a guaranteed not survive. I don't want to end up totally aware and everything, but not able to move. It's already bad enough. So, it really wasn't ukulele time tonight. It was, more like sad time. I think a bunch of the videos are titled sad, really sad, beyond sad, even more sad. So anyone can see, there's like a theme, and it's not happy. You wouldn't believe how much I can smile when everything is falling apart. I'm not being phony, but I'm showing, look, I can do this. So,